Howdy folks, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to make what I call a hot dog jig, and what I do with a hot dog jig is I'm going to use bucktail and put a tail on this jig, okay, on this jig hook, and then I'm going to take some type of body. I think today on this one we're going to use Blue Moon, okay, and I add it to the body. So it has a body of a plastic bait and the tail of hair, or we're going to use craft fur. This is craft fur. I use all different materials, guys. I got like 3 or 4 different things I use, and we're going to add some flashaboo to the tail. I used to make these right often, about 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't made any for about 3 years. Yeah, and there's a company here local. I don't know if they're how much ground they cover. But I know in the local bait shops here, it's a company called Jigs, and they have a plastic body and a hair tail. Also, one of the mold companies that I buy molds from, they make a mold that you tie the tail on the jig, and you put this jig in the mold, and you can shoot a plastic body on it. So I'm sure some of y'all have fished with baits with plastic bodies. But if you want to try something different to where you can use your own colors, I'm going to make one with this too, yep, where you can use some of your own colors. This is the way you would do it. If you go like, man, I love, for example, I love the banana pepper color. My #1 selling color right now, guys. If you love that color, you go like, man, what would that be like if I put a white tail on it? If I put a chartreuse tail on it? You know, you can make that up yourself by making a tail color. You can use spinnerbait skirts, the rubber spinnerbait skirts. And I might do one of those to show you too. But I've caught many a fish on these, making them different ways. So I'm going to make 2 with y'all, okay? Then I'm going to make some off camera, because I need to make enough to give away, right? Probably going to give away 4 of them in this giveaway. And I don't want to make y'all go through the whole process of me tying 4 of them. So let's get started. All right? Now, I'm going to use chartreuse thread. Now guys, I've got a couple there. I think I got 3 of them. If you tie a lot, that's what you want to do, so you don't have to switch spools all the time and rethread it. I actually have a threading tool that you stick in here and pull this thread too. Also, if you're all tying, that's a good tool to have. You can get it through on your own sometime. Okay, I'm going to start just like I did on tying a jig. I got a little too much line at that time. All right. Now I'm trying to get the camera where y'all can see. I know in the last video, some of y'all probably going, Dennis, I couldn't see very well. I'm trying my best. I got the camera right here in front of me today. I had 2 cameras going last time. I had one here and I had one above me. The one above me, when I went to edit it, had nothing on it I really wanted to use. So I'm not going to do the one above me this time. I'm just going to do the one that's straight in front of me. And I'm looking in the back of the camera so I can see what y'all seeing. And I can move this around some to help y'all see. Okay? Now, I'm going to... We use fingernail polish, guys. Sally Hansen, it will actually, whoo! Actually, it's just about as good as glue. I'm getting the lid off. Also, I got super glue laying here that I'm going to use to glue the body on with, okay? When we get to that part. I'm going to tie the tail on, and then we'll put the body on, and I'll show you that process too. Now, I'm not going to put a lot into this tail. What I mean is, I'm not going to put a lot of product on it. I'm going to keep it skinny and thin. If you look at the tail on this LC shad, see, let me get where y'all can see. There you go. If you look at the tail on this LC shad, see, it's not a big tail. So we're not going to tie a big fancy tail. We're just going to tie enough on it to give it some color. So I'm getting my buck tail right here, okay. And I need to kind of same thing. I need to kind of measure how long I want it. All right, I'm gonna whack it off. All right, and I'm gonna add a little bit more in this. This ain't quite enough. Now, I'm going to hold it right there like that. It's loose loop. Pull it where I want it. Then I'm going to tie it down. Now, I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to add another little piece. Now, guys, I got my bucktail in a container here. Yeah, this was, I think I mentioned this last time. I'll mention it again for y'all that wasn't watching. I got some friends here that deer hunt. I don't deer hunt no more. Hadn't deer hunted about 18 years. Now I fish all the time. Some of the best fishing here is now. the best fishing I think on this lake is from November to March. And November, December here, deer season stays in here I think till January something. So the guys here are hunting all the time. Now I do have some bought bucktails, okay? That's how they come when you buy them. Yep. They come like this in a bag, okay? And I have all colors you can imagine. I got a whole box of them behind me. Like anything else, I keep going to Bass Pro and walk around going, oh, I like that color. I know some of y'all, guaranteed you some of y'all are doing the same thing. And next thing you know, you got a lot of bucktails. I got some that are almost gone. I done used them up. All right, I'm cutting another piece of white's what I'm doing right here. All right, now I'm gonna kind of put it on the side of it too. All right, I'm gonna, like I say, a little kind of a loose lap. You kind of put the hair where you want it, then you tie it. All right, tie. I'm pulling pretty tight too. Now you can check it, kind of see how much tail you got. All right, I'm gonna flip it up just like this. I'm gonna put just a little bit more on it. Like I said, I don't want a bunch. I tell you something I learned. I'm gonna tell you something I learned fooling with this, okay? And a lot of guys' time, I'm not gonna tell you this. You're better off having less than you are too much. You can get too much hair, okay, or tail on a bait. I have found once I start catching fish on these sometimes, they actually get better. Because the fish nip at them and they pull a lot of the hairs out of the tail. And I'm going, man, my hair is almost going on this jig. And guess what? It seems to get better sometimes as the hair starts disappearing. And as they start pulling it off. All right. Now I'm going to check it again, see how much I got. I think I want just a touch more. Now I'm just putting a little bit at a time on here because I don't want a bunch. And it's hard to grab a bunch at one time. Now on that bucktail that I bought, it's easier. I'm getting it loose out of a container, and I got to re-straighten it. I got to straighten it like this, you know, and try to get all the hairs the same length. Yeah, and I just knocked my container off on the floor, which I can't bend over and get. Some of you are going like, why can't you bend over? I still can't bend over yet, guys. Doctor's orders. Tomorrow will be 4 weeks, guys, that I'm into my surgery. Alright, now I'm going to add the flasher boo. I do have a thing where I can pick stuff up off the floor with, guys. One of those grabbers. Actually, I got two of them. I got one downstairs. I'm in my basement. I got a full basement, guys, in my house. I got a wood stove sitting behind me that's idle. And I hear my furnace running because usually I run a wood stove all winter. That's right. In the cold months, I run a wood stove. And I can tell you what, my wife and I was just talking about this. What a difference, especially at night. Now, I'm going to run this on back to about the hook point, about where I'm going to put the body to. Then we'll run this back up. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it. I need to clean this lead. These leads get a lot of product in them, and then they don't want to turn, don't want to seal. All right, whip it tool. Now, I'm not gonna try to teach y'all how to use this, but you hook it up. Can y'all make sure y'all can see? Yeah, you hook it up like that. You pull this line backwards, okay, and you go around it. See what it's doing? It's going around it. Some guys do it 5 times. I try to do it 3 to 4, but I do it twice. All right. Now pull it down. I'm holding the jig head like this, and I'm pulling on the string, on the thread. It's like fishing line. I hear guys talking on my string. Yeah, we have a habit of just calling everything a string, even if it's fishing line, right? That's okay. Y'all know what we're talking about, right? Now, here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, you can see where I folded that. I folded that flasher boo. Okay, I'm gonna cut that loop. I fold it. And we'll cut off the extra long pieces. See? I made a pretty tail. Alright? And you can trim the tail a little bit if you want to. I think it's about right time I get the body on it. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do next. Make sure all the hair's back. I'm going to get me a body ready, okay? Alright guys, here's the body I'm going to use. Here's what I'm going to use. This is a razor blade, okay, on a handle. You want something sharp, Don't try to cut it while it's in your hand. I'm not going to show you how I do it. Watch it, it's very sharp. I just hit the edge of that with my finger. What I'm going to do is lay this down on the table, and I'm going to take and line this up. Let me get back to where y'all can see. I'm going to take and line this up in the middle of it, and I'm going to gently push down on it, okay? Just like that right here. Now, I'm pre-cut this on the table, and I want to cut almost all the way through to it. Now, the hardest part, guys, is cutting straight. When you try to cut a piece of plastic like this, you'll never get a perfect straight cut. It'll go one side or the other a little bit because the plastic's giving with it, all right? It's like the floor I'm standing on here in my basement is the foam flooring, okay? It's half-inch thick foam flooring, like you put it in a garage or something. Y'all seen a lot of these garages have it, and exercise areas have it, where they have the solid black mats. All right, I've got gray ones in my basement, wood grain color, and I put it because my floor is cement here. So when I'm down here working, it's easy to stand on. It's better on my feet, so forth. And it's hard to cut too. When I installed this and I had to cut it around the edges to fit, you had to use a really sharp knife because it's foam and it gives. This plastic's the same way. The EVA foam I put on my boat's the same way. You had to put your pressure down with a good sharp knife. And if you watch the guys on Tiny Boat Nation stuff make it, they say change the blade every couple of cuts. What's important about that, if you don't, as you're cutting, it just tears it and it don't cut neat. It's basically the same way. You got to have a good sharp blade, okay? So you're going to have to kind of come up with your own method. I just showed you how I do it. You might have a better idea. All right? Now I'm going to measure this. I want to cut off it right there. And I can cut it multiple times. I don't have to cut the same length every time. So I'm going to cut it, eyeball it, go like, yeah, I'm going to cut just a touch more off of it. So I'm going to cut just a touch more off of it. Okay? Alright, it's about where I want it. Maybe a little bit. So then I'm going to make sure that I'm open all the way back to there. Yeah, the very tail of it needs to open up. So I'm going to get my little razor blade here. Again, be very careful. You want something super sharp, and if it's super sharp, guess what? Yeah, the guy holding his hand up. Yep, it will cut you easy also. Now, the reason I call this a hot dog jig, this looks like a hot dog bun. Doesn't it? See, I got it open like a hot dog bun. You just open it up there, drop your hot dog in there, put your onions and mustard on it. Doesn't that sound good and chilly? I can't tell y'all the last time I've had a hot dog. It's been probably 2 years or something like that. We just don't eat hot dogs, guys, at our house. Or even when we're out somewhere. Y'all know what I do. I'm going today. I go to the Mexican restaurant. Yeah, I'm going to meet Mason, my little buddy, the other day for lunch. All right, now. All right. And Sam was here Tuesday. And guess where we went? That's right. We went to the Mexican restaurant for lunch. All right. If y'all don't watch Wildlife Adventures, check him out. He's been hard on the Crappie this year. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put a little glue right here. All right, you see it going on right there. All right. Then I'm going to put a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit in. You got to watch this too. You get it all over your fingers. All right. I'm going to squeeze it up on there. Put my hot dog in there. You see it sliding everywhere now because of the glue. Now, I got to hold it here for a little bit till it sets up. Alright guys, I think I got the glue to finally dry. I think it took so long because it's cool here in my basement. Like I said, if I had my wood stove going behind me, it wouldn't take it as long, would it? Alright, so that's the blue moon color with a white tail. Now I'm going to tie a different one. This time I'm going to go to a different color. Let's get another jig here. And I'm using some pretty good size hooks on these guys too. And they're 1/16. Doing that for a reason. Now you can tie them of any size, but if you get too small of a hook, this is probably as small as you'd want to go. If you get too small of a hook, you can't get much body on. You don't want your body to get back here past the point of the hook too far. And you'll block your hook gap, right? Your gap from the point to the body. You don't want that to be too small. So this is a time that you'd want to use something with a bigger hook, all right? So if that helps you. All right, we'll do the same thing here. Gonna wrap. Let me back this up a little bit. And a lot of y'all guys have told me it's your tying too, so You're probably sitting there watching me going like, Dennis, you're not good at this. No, I'm not good at it. I haven't done much of it lately. Tied some for the videos here. It's probably the first time I've tied for 2 or 3 years. Reason I don't tie a lot, I've got plenty of hair jigs. I've got 3600s tackle boxes. I took and put foam in them so I can hook the jigs in them. I'm looking behind me. I thought I had one laying behind me, but I don't see it. I've got 2 or 3 of those guys full of hair jigs. Yeah, I've got hundreds tied up, so I don't need to tie all the time. See, all right, now I'm going to add craft fur this time. So let's do something a little different. Let's go to the Chartreuse craft fur. Let me open the package here. If y'all never used craft fur, it has a different action in the water. You can see I done used almost all this. Anything left on this little end right here. Let me get it back here. I look through the back of the camera so I can see what y'all seeing. All right, see that? That's the only thing left on this one. All right, now the craft fur, what you do is you just get your piece like that. You just pinch your piece off that you want, okay? And you whack it off. Now, I started using the craft fur. I think I mentioned this in another video and I didn't explain it. When I done the editing, I went, Dennis, you didn't explain that. You told them about it. You started telling the guys about it and you didn't finish it. All right, I'm cutting my extra craft fur off. My scissors, guys, stood on one side. Let me get my container. I knocked it on the floor. I got it up. I got one of those pickup things, guys. What do you call it? You pick up tools and pick up stuff with. Yeah, I got 2 of them. Like I said, I went and got it. It's laying behind me now. All right. There you go. You move to the right a little bit. That's okay, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let me move this up. I'm going to put a little piece on this side. The craft fur is cheap, really, and it's got a whole different action to it. It's got a smoother action in the hair. That's why people use it. And there's some of you going like, why we have so many different things to tie tails with? That's why. Tie bodies, whatever you want. You get different actions for different stuff. Different material, you get different actions. If you never used the craft fur, it's got an unusual action to it. Okay? I think I want just a touch more in it. Alright, so I'm going to put just a touch more in it. Hope I'm not boring y'all with this. Again, I'm just getting it right here like this. You see where I cut that off right there? How'll go? There's a little piece there. I'll get that some other time. And that's what you want to do too, is just try to make sure you're getting all of it, not waste any of it. I can't remember. I don't think it has a price tag on the container. I don't think it's that expensive. I've got most of this from Bass Pro Shop. I used to go up to Bass Pro Shop and walk around and look at the stuff. I like to see what I'm buying when I buy stuff like this. If you know what you're buying and you've bought it a few times, ordering it is fine. Alright guys, my camera cut off because it said the card was full. I don't know why the card was full, I just put it in it. But anyway, I switched cards and got her back going. So that's what the break was about. Alright, I'm going to tie this down. And I did look at the timing. I've got a lot of time in this already, so I need to keep moving fast. Alright, I'm going to put a piece of... I'll put something pretty here in it. We're just going to use again, and we're just going to use this. This is has a UV on it. It's just a white with the green UV. I don't know if y'all can see that in the camera. But so I double it. What I do is I double it, put it around the eye of the hook to help hold it for me. All right. Now my thread. Let me shorten my spool. My spool. All right. Okay, now I'm ready for a body. Now guys, the first body, as it dried here and I was looking at it, it's okay because see it's V-shape. It's the V shape of the bait, right? In the bottom. Alright. And it's the first time I tried that. First time I tried the shad body. I thought it would look okay, and it looks fine. But I think a round one's better. So I'm going to use a round one on this. I thought the shad body would give it a good look, and it does fine. Maybe the other thing I could do is don't cut down quite as far. Don't cut down quite as far this way. Stop shorter. But, you know, when you get a bait tore up on the boat and you're throwing it away, you can use those, guys. I'm using brand new ones here, but you can use those. I'm using seconds. These got a flaw in them. I make a second pile, and I fish with those. I've told y'all that. That's what I do. I'm just going to do that one time, because I'm going to put super glue on it, too. I was thinking about a hollow guy. I said, Dennis, you You tied a couple times. By the time I put the super glue and glue the body on, where's it going to go, right? All right, now, let me get a body ready. All right, guys, I cut me a piece of this swim bait off. Now, I'll tell you what, this was easier to cut in the center. And what I used to use 3 years ago, and I thought I was being smart this morning by using my LC shad body, I was using rubber worms. I would take a piece of a rubber worm and use it because it's rounded. And I'm going to tell you right now from experience, like I said, I was trying to be smart and thought I'd put a shad body shape on it. The shad body shape's okay, but the round is easier to cut. It's easier to cut in the center too. All right, that helps you. I think it was easier. Again, I tried something that a bait shape I've really never tried. So who knows? You got to try something to know the difference. It looks okay, but I think the round body. Trying to keep my hands out of y'all's way. I think the round body is easier. And it took that glue. It took that glue a good little bit to set up on this thing, guys. I held it for, I bet you, for a minute or so. So I'm going to do that again right now. I'm going to hold for a little bit and I'll get back with y'all. Alright, guys. There you go. What do you think of that? Now, get it up here where you can see it. I have to stop looking behind the camera, guys. It doesn't take much up and down to be out of the camera. See? It does, I mean, when you're close to it. Shoreline body. Okay? Chartreuse tail. Gary told you I can catch fish on that. What do y'all think? Now, guys, I'm gonna tie me some too, and I'm gonna tie some to send y'all. You see how the rounded body made a better shape? Yep. I'm gonna try the shad body again off camera because right now I'm gonna stop and this thing's will be a mile long if I ain't careful, and I'll do an outro here in a minute and show you some stuff I made. Okay? And somebody's gonna win some of these. Hold on. All right, guys, here they are. These are shoreline blue. Some of them I used my baits. Okay, some of them I used other stuff. I used a fluke. 3-inch minnow, and there's chartreuse. I'll back up here so you can see them again. Try to show them to you closer one time. There you go. All right, y'all know the routine. Somebody's going to win some of these. 1 through 400. Leave your number. Wednesday night, I do a draw after 5 o'clock. Load it on Thursday. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that button. Appreciate y'all guys. See you next time. Fish in Lake Country.